I so love music and dance. I love music and dance. So I decided to break out of my routine, and I bought myself tickets to the Titus Unbound, and I got 3 tickets to 3 different dance shows. Oh my God. Ugh. So Friday night, I went to see the Trinity Irish Dance Company. OMG. It was like a bath. It was like a psychic bath. My whole being was like, it was from very traditional, the Irish dancing thing that they do, all the way into jazz, tap. And then they did a whole piece where they did jazz, tap, which is all behind one line, and the other line did the Irish dance, which is all in front. And then they did this thing where they were like showing off each one. It was like, oh my God, it was so fabulous. When was the last time you were that turned on by something amazing in your life? Too long ago, right? Oh my God. I've had so many conversations with myself and with people in this community and so many other places about how small our lives have become since the pandemic. And this is what we feel like, right? I kept saying to people, my life feels about this big. Right? Because, when I did go out, I went to the Costco and the grocery store and my house. And then I kind of put CSLDallas in there. And it was like this little tiny, tiny, tiny circle. This tiny place. And so we have gotten surprisingly habituated to small lives. And we think... And thank God, right? Thank God for the internet. Thank God we can reach out all over the world. Thank God we were able to stay connected during the pandemic. Thank God for all of that. Thank God for our homes and those little bubbles that we had of people to be with. Thank God for all of that. And yet if you're like me, right, we have become habituated to small lives, which is unfortunately a representation of many of our life experiences over our life in general. Have we not sometimes realized that we have become habituated to small lives? Not just because of the pandemic, but because of false beliefs we have about what life is about what we're here to do, about who we are, about all of those things that keep us from expressing ourselves and contributing the light and the love that we are. I love this quote. If you want to get out of a rut bad enough, it'll happen. It's up to you, though. No one else is ever going to do it for you. Right? Nobody's going to pluck us out of our little lives and say, you need to do something more. I mean, good enough, we are surrounded by people, hopefully, who will say, come on, let's do it. Karen asked me the other day, she said, where did Aria learn to say, come on, let's do it? And I said, really? You have to ask that question? Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Don't think about it too hard. And she'd be like, Aria would be like, no, let's just do it. Right? And good enough. We have people in our lives and we want more of that. But actually, nobody can do that for us. We actually have to do it ourselves, which is why I bought myself tickets to 3 dance shows, because I love that kind of art. And not everybody in my family or the people that I know love it as much as I do. So why shouldn't I take myself? Yeah, right? Why shouldn't you take yourself out of the circle? There were a lot of images. Some of them were just a person working in a circle, right? I thought that was a little too harsh, but I have certainly experienced that, right? Oh my God. So we are starting our Step Out in Faith program. Step Out in Faith starts today, and it's based on our annual theme, Emergence. And it is a community-wide opportunity that we have to explore more deeply this theme and to get out of these small lives that we have become habituated to. So the theme for our month is Growing the Garden of Your Life. And it's a 6-week program, starts today, ends on Easter Sunday, April 9th. growing the garden of your life. Right? And so we'll be talking about many of the kinds of things that allow us to manifest specifically. But more importantly, this is about our lives, not just any one particular thing that we might want to express or experience or demonstrate or we feel we might need to heal or have. This is about growing our lives. And so you are invited into a study group. Patty and I have put together what I would think is a remarkable workbook for this program. And Ryan and I have put together equally as remarkable videos that will be shown. The videos shown in the home study group, and then you work through the week's workbook together. And what's so cool is that we're all doing it, right? So we're in that collective consciousness. And whether you're in Mexico or Poland or Egypt or right here in DFW, we're all doing it together. And we're deepening in this idea of growing our own lives and allowing our lives to emerge out of the protection, right? We had to protect ourselves. And we have a biological imperative to protection. And everything that's unknown feels like a threat. And yet the spiritual truth is different than that. And we want to emerge out of our human little circle into the beauty of our spiritual truth, where we can sing that beautiful song that Candy and Michael wrote, that Candy just sang for us. Aria was looking in a mirror. I think we were at a restaurant. This was a few weeks ago. My granddaughter, in case you don't know who Aria is. We went in, when there was a full-length mirror in the restaurant restroom, and I was finishing with the sink, and she turned around and she got nose to nose. She went nose to that mirror, and she went, "I like my face." When were we taught differently? To emerge out of the things that keep us small, the habit of our smallness. So this week we're talking about cultivating a vibrant life. Not necessarily about manifesting or demonstrating something in specific, although that might be a part of it, but overarchingly a vibrant life, a life that is full and complete of things that stretch us, grow us, things that feel like that psychic bath, things that we savor and enjoy, those moments where we just are present. Or maybe we're going for it and we're challenged. Or we're just being in the space with others that we love. Do you see? All of that is what it means to have a vibrant life. Of course, how it looks specifically to each one of us, how we experience falling in love with ourselves and our lives and cultivating it. Life is one big road with lots of signs. So when you're riding through the ruts, don't complicate your mind. Flee from hate, mischief, and jealousy. Don't bury your thoughts. Put your vision to reality. Wake up and live. Yes, right? The beloved Bob Marley. And so, Michael Gott and I used to think you're talking about Michael Gott. We used to talk about being rut dwellers. We don't even just dwell in our ruts. We decorate. It's because there's comfort in that, right? And knowing how it works and what to do and all of that. And we're like, I remember having the conversation about, okay, I gotta pull down the draperies in my rut. It is way too comfortable in here. Way, way, way too comfortable. Right? But it's also the things that keep us, the things that we, not only comfort keeps us there, but the things that we get afraid of, or the things that we compare ourselves to, and we say we're not that, or we're not that good, or we're not unworthy, or we're not this and we're not that. And we stay in our ruts. I had the most extraordinary experience the other day. I had a friend of mine, I did a coaching session. We traded a coaching session for a little bit of oh, I guess you would call it marketing and PR. And he said to me, Petra, people don't want to do those bios anymore that say, I did this and I have this achievement and I have this award. They don't. Well, I can't say on the platform what he said, that people don't care about that. And they want to know who you are. And so they want to know something about who you are. If you want to write a bio for today's world, it's got to be very different. So tell me, so we bartered. And so this week I had the opportunity. You asked me some questions. How did you find out about spirituality? When did your life really, when did your life really turn in that direction? What were some of the obstacles you overcame? Blah, 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 blah. And so I spent 45 minutes telling him my story. And afterwards, he was like, oh, I see. So basically, since 4, you stopped paying attention to the word no. I was like, well, nobody's ever actually said those words to me before, but I guess in listening to myself talk about my own life, that would be true. And he said afterwards, after, listening to that whole thing, what an amazing experience it was. And then he began to share the things that inspired him from my life story. And I was like, oh my God, I've been dwelling in the rut of the last few years and the pandemic and have forgotten who I was, who that girl was who used to laugh out loud and who used to push the boundaries and who used to do all of those things. How about you? Right? And maybe there's a few places where we're still pushing out, right? But maybe there's also a whole lot of places where we are keeping ourselves safe, or we are doing what's acceptable or expected or wanted or needed from our obligations or what we think is normal. Yeah. Right. And yes, of course there are things we're supposed to do. But there are also lots of things that are part of our vibrant life that need to be cultivated, so we need to stop and think about what is it that causes us to feel alive. And so when we say co-create a life, manifest the life of your dreams, this does not always imply a long, steady push, go-getter, success, accomplishment, get the money, get the promotion, right? That's a particular view, a particular thought process. If that's what floats our boat, that's fine. But to grow a life is a whole life. All of our life experiences and all the ways in which we express the beauty and joy that we are, the love that we have, the light that we have, and the way in which we share that. That's what causes us to be and feel alive. And so a truly vibrant life starts from the inside looking outward, not from the outside looking inward. We don't look at the things that are happening in our life and ask ourselves, are we vibrant? Is our life full and rich? We might notice that it's small, but to shift that, it starts from the inside out. And what you'll do in your study groups this week and explore is, what is a vibrant life to you? Because it starts in here. It starts in imagining that our life can be more than it is right now. And again, more, we are so habituated in our economic system today, and in the modernity, the modern era, is to think of more means achievement and progress. No, it's a more fuller, richer life experience that is more complete, more vibrant, more alive with the truth of who we are, with the wholeness. And so we might think of this, what we have to do on the inside is we have to give it adjectives and qualities and experiences, as opposed to some of the outward accomplishments that we might think about, right? So for me, to have a vibrant life, as you know, it includes family. I must have time. When I was raising my son, I had to have time for my son. When I first was hired here in this community, I was sure that I had laid it down so that they would never hire me. Because I said, well, okay, if you want to hire me, fine, but I have to leave at 2:30 because I have a son at home, and I don't have somebody else who's going to take care of him. And I can only teach one night a week, and I only teach one Saturday a month, which was completely counterintuitive to the way that I understand ministry would require of me. And I was certain that I had talked myself out of being in the ministry. This is what I need. And by the way, I have a child to raise, so you have to pay me a living wage. And I thought they would say thanks, but no thanks. We'll go find somebody else. Well, they didn't. They said, oh, that sounds good. Oh, damn. I thought I was getting out of it. You were not supposed to accept that offer. But I made a claim for my vibrant life, which includes my family, right? And our staff is so gracious right now as we are navigating. I will provide support for my granddaughter. Karen and I are utterly committed to that, and it sometimes impacts the staff. And they are so gracious about the support of that, with it's a little bit of not certain what the schedule is all the time. Because for me, that's a vibrant life. And it feels more vibrant than in my ministry. Do you see? When our life is alive in its wholeness, then the different aspects of our life begin to actually bleed over. Does that make sense? So if we're more vibrant at home, we're going to be more vibrant at work. And when we're more vibrant at work, we're going to be more vibrant in our relationships. And when we're more vibrant in our relationships, our creativity is going to be more vibrant. Just our ability to savor life is going to grow because we are paying attention to those things that truly light us up, fulfill us, and allow us to make a contribution in life. Ernest Holmes says this: to meditate upon the presence is to indraw the universe into one's own soul. And do you see, that's the inner work. To indraw the universe into one's own soul. That is what then is the outpictured, vibrant life. It starts on the inside with those adjectives and qualities, not just purely, love and beauty, although, those will help, but also the things, I'm going to say it again and again and again and again, those things that make us feel alive. That make us feel alive on the inside. And some of that is big activities, and some of that is quiet moments, and it's whatever combination of things that matter to us. But first, we have to meditate on the presence of these, that we are worthy of them, that we can have them, and most of all, that they are already present. It's the always already true, right? That is the truth of our being. Each one of us, radiant, magnificent beings of love and light, no less a part of the universe as those stars and those beautiful, beautiful stalks of grass in that gorgeous sunlight. Right? That's the beauty of life expressed in the northern lights and in nature. And all of nature is just being presence. Just being presence. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's what you came here to be, is to be that. And to bring that into the things that we say we are doing, being, and having, to meditate on these things. And so I really invite you this week in your study groups, and if you're not in a study group, we do have a one-page kind of short version of it, or you can just do this on your own, is to meditate on the presence of the universe and draw it into our souls. So as weird as it sounds, for me, one of the ways that I do that is on a sunny morning when the sun is coming up and there's that moment where the leaves turn this vibrant green. And then there's the shadows of the dark green of the leaves that aren't in the light. And there's the light on the green that is so exquisite. And I think there it is. There it is. Beauty and magnificence and light and expression. Just being vibrantly alive. What is it for you? Where do you get a hold of it? What does it feel like, sense like? What words? It's the whole, right? It's the whole embodied moment where we see the absolute exquisite presence of life. And then to remember that that's our life too. We are as beautiful as that sunlight. We are as magnificent as those leaves that are shimmering in the light. We are as magnificent as the patterns that are created by that light, by the dark and the light, and how they play together. That's who you are. That's what you've come here to be. And so to break out of the box, the rut, the small circles that we have come habituated to, that we have thought are required of us, that make us normal in some form or fashion, right? These are the things that are keeping us from our most vibrant life. What is the most outrageous, beauty-filled, meaningful life you can imagine? Not in terms of accomplishment and progress per se, although it might include some of that. But the most outrageous, beauty-filled, meaningful life you can imagine in terms of qualities and experiences. Might you look at your own life and say it's as beautiful as the garden? Might you look at your own life? Where, in what aspects of your life can you see it as vibrantly alive? Where do you see it as quiet as a placid pool, or as challenged as a level 4 rapids, right? And the pool and the rapids, they're all part of the same stream. They're all part of our lives. We wouldn't want to be in the rapids all the time, but we also don't want to be in the pool all the time. I caught this really interesting, I swear, I caught the last little bit of this little interview on NPR the other day, and I caught it just for this one sentence. I don't even know, it was a rap artist. I don't even know his name. I don't even know who because they were like wrapping it up and saying, thank you so much. And he said, it is in the challenge and the growth and the expression of who we are that causes us to have meaningful and fulfilling lives. Boom. There you go. Right? So where are we savoring? Where are we challenged? Where are we being? Where are we doing? Where are we contributing? Where are we just allowing? It takes all of that to have an outrageously beauty-filled and meaningful life. And that's what we're up to. That's what we're here for, to contribute that. And so we have to cultivate it. We have to cultivate this life, right? And so in your workbook and during the week, you're going to talk about what does it mean to cultivate. All of our spiritual practices are designed to cultivate this life, to cultivate our consciousness, cultivate our life, cultivate our being, cultivate in many different ways. And there are many different practices that help us cultivate in different ways. And we had I've had a number of really powerful questions over this last week from community members who are like, and how do I do that? And what does that feel like? It's like, get in a home study group and explore it. But let me give you fair warning. If you cultivate a vibrant life, two things are going to happen. All the places where you are small and you are not doing that will show up. And you will notice them more than you have ever noticed them before. And all the ways that you are called into something more and different, they're going to show up too. And it might be a little scary because it is by definition outside of our comfort zone, out of the rut. Cultivate your curves. They may be dangerous, but they won't be avoided. Mae West. Cultivate your curves. Cultivate the most outrageous, amazing life that is you. That is your life. That is the radiant, magnificent being of love and light that you came here to be. An individualized expression of the one that you came here to express. And this is why we do it together. We can hold each other's hand when it gets a little dangerous, when it gets a little spooky, when it gets a little nerve-wracking. And we can celebrate it with each other when we are experiencing a more vibrant life. And we can remind each other that vibrancy also includes savoring, enjoying, just being present. Isn't just the doing. It's the being present to the beauty of our lives and the beauty of who we have come here to be. So I'm going to invite Brad up here. We're going to play a little. Brad, he's so great. He just says, oh, okay. Okay. He just says, okay, we'll do this. So this will be our closing. You stumble through your days, got your head hung low. Your sky's a shade of gray, like a zombie in a maze. You're asleep inside, but you can shake awake. 'Cause you're just a dead man walking, thinking that's your only option. But you can flip the switch and brighten up your darkest day. The sun is up and colors blinding. Take a world and redefine it. Leave behind your narrow mind. You'll never be the same. Come alive. Come alive. Go and light your light. Let it burn so bright, reaching up to the sky, and it's open wide. You're electrified. And the world becomes a fantasy, and you're more than you could ever be, because you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. And you know you can't go back again to the world that you were living in, because you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. So come alive. I see it in your eyes. You believe that lie, that you need to hide your face, afraid to step outside, so you lock the door. But don't you stay that way. No more living in those shadows. You and me, we know how that goes. Because once you see it, oh, you'll never, never be the same. A little bit of lightning striking, bottled up to keep on shining. You can prove there's more to you. You can not be afraid. Come alive. Come alive. Go and light your light. Let it burn so bright, reaching up to the sky, and it's open wide. You're electrified. And the world becomes a fantasy. And you're more than you can ever be. Because you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. And we know we can't go back again to the world that we were living in. Because we're dreaming with our eyes wide open. Come alive. And so it is.